So, what...
I consulted him and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Fafar found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins, and quicksilver for the the other part?
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
So, from the beginning. A good day to you. What do you need?
Do you ever work with copper here?
No, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Zach from the monastery craftsman's yard has bought out all the copper.
What can you tell me about the Sasau blacksmiths?
There's too many of us, I'll tell you that for free. This is only a small town. There's Zach, who has a forge in the craftsman's yard and mostly works on the construction of the church. And then, apart from me, there's Master Armourer Otter of Ramstein.
Tell me more about Zach.
Don't have much time for him myself. He knows his craft, no question. But he seems to think his son, Vitus, will be a master armourer in Prague one day.
My father was a blacksmith, and I expect he thought much the same about me. That's how fathers are, isn't it?
Of course, any man should be proud of his boy. But Zach makes pride a sin. That's why he's at loggerheads with Master Otter.
Can you tell me something about Master Otter?
Well now, there's a master to look up to. He's worked for the lords of Kunstadt and for the richest townsfolk of Prague.
If you don't mind my asking, what brings him here?
The same as draws all reasonable people. He's enjoying the peace and quiet. Or rather, he used to enjoy some peace. That dispute with Zach must have put a few more wrinkles on his brow.
What are Zach and Master Otter arguing about?
Zach had his boy Vitus trained as an armourer in Kuttenberg, and he wanted to buy out Otter's place for him. Except that Otter's a proud man. How would it have looked? A master armourer giving way to a young whippersnapper who's barely let go of his mother's skirts? And they've been arguing ever since. Well, Zach mostly. He badmouths Otter every chance he gets. He claims that he's only fit for mending pots and that his son will see him off.
That will be all. Thank you.
Take care now.
May the Lord watch over you, Henry.
Good day, Henry. I'm honoured that you should come to me.
Do you make anything out of copper, Master?
I do a bit of Damascene decor sometimes. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for someone who could do me some copper sheets.
Well, that's pretty rough and ready work. I wouldn't waste my time with it. But go and ask Zach from the craftsman's yard by the monastery. He's bought up all the copper to be had around here anyway.
What can you tell me about the blacksmiths here in Sasau?
Depends which ones you mean. In the town there's Mikesh. He's a decent man and an honest craftsman. And in the yard by the monastery there's Zach. But there's not many good words I can say about him.
Tell me something about Mikesh.
Like I said, he's an honest craftsman, which isn't something you can say about every blacksmith in town.
What about the monastery blacksmith, Zach?
Well, him and me don't exactly see eye to eye. He wanted to buy my business, but I turned him down. Ever since then, he hasn't had a good word to say about me.
That'll be all. Thank you.
Good luck then.
Welcome, Henry.
God save. What can I do for you?
Do you work any copper here, Master Blacksmith?
Why'd you ask?
I'm looking into a few things here.
Looking into things? Meaning what?
I'm on the trail of a gang of counterfeiters.
Well, that's a serious business, but to answer your question, no. I don't work copper here.
That's not what I heard.
What?
I was told in town that you bought all the other blacksmiths' copper.
By Mickelson the Master Armourer, am I right? They're forever trying to smear my good name. That's why they said it, to make me look suspicious.
But they don't know I'm investigating anything.
Then they're making things up just for spite. Anything else? I still have work to do.
What can you tell me about the Sasau blacksmiths?
Well, there's Mikesh. He's honest enough, and a fair-handed everyday things. And then there's Master Otter. He used to have talent, but now he's too old, and too proud to admit it.
So back to that copper, Master Blacksmith.
What? I thought I told you I don't work with copper.
Aha.
Good luck to you.
God save you. Good night. What can I do for you?
Your father says you don't work any copper.
We don't.
I've heard differently around town. They say your father's bought up all the copper to be had.
Are you calling me a liar? Or my father? You're asking for it, boy.
Just be sure you know what you're letting yourself in for.
Was that a threat? Do you think I'm an idiot?
You don't get it, do you? I don't particularly want to fight with you. I don't have the time or the need to prove anything. So I'll just take my knife and stick it between your ribs. And then I'll keep twisting until you tell me the truth.
Jesus Christ! Are you insane?
Maybe. So are you gonna talk?
Just take it easy. You're right. We do make copper sheets here at night.
Hey!
So why all the secrecy about it?
Father forbade me to talk about it. I don't know why. I didn't ask.
Who buys those sheets from you?
I don't know. I've never set eyes on him. Father doesn't like to talk about it.
Your father has some serious explaining to do.
Jesus, please don't hurt him.
We'll see about that.
Farewell.
So back to that copper, Master Blacksmith.
What? I thought I told you I don't work with copper.
Your son put it quite differently.
What's that? What are you blabbering on about?
Don't be angry with him. I didn't give him any choice.
All right. I suppose there's no point lying. We do make copy sheets here, and I wanted to keep it quiet.
Why?
Pays me good money, and the people I do it for. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them.
Did they threaten you?
They didn't have to. Just by the look of them, I could say I needed to shut my mouth and do what they wanted.
And did they ever tell you who they were? Do you know where to find them?
I know a little. But show some understanding. There's nothing but trouble in it for me. I'll lose the work and be left looking over my shoulder for some thugs to come and burn down my house. Or worse.
If you don't cooperate, you'll be getting a lot worse than that from me.
There's no need for threats. We can both benefit here. If I tell you everything I know, you can help me with a certain small matter. One that'll cover up for my loss of earnings.
So what are we talking about?
I recently tried to buy Master Armourer Otto Rabstein's business for my son Vitus, but that old fool wouldn't listen to reason. He said he couldn't understand his legacy being taken over by a clod like my Vitus. Despite the insult, I doubled my offer, but Master Otto still wouldn't budge.
And what is it you need from me?
I thought I'd show Otto that Vitus isn't such a dolt as he thinks, but for that I need someone experienced in combat.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad. What's your plan?
Otto's busy making a very pretty suit of armor for the bailiff. So I was thinking, if we could show that pretty armor of his is absolutely useless, he'd be disgraced.
And how am I supposed to see to that?
Well, I'd reckon we'd arrange a duel of champions with bludgeons. You'll put on Vitus's armor, and Otto will send his champion in that tin shit of his. You invite the bailiff to watch, and Otto will be made a laughingstock in front of everyone.
Then what do I get out of it?
What we already agreed. I'll give up dealing in copper, and I'll tell you everything I know about what's been going on.
Do you really think that will work?
Otto's always mouthing off in the alehouse that my young lad isn't worth a damn. Once I show he's just a bitter old bastard spouting hot air, his business will be ruined, and Vitus will reap the reward. What with all the strife in the country these days, there'll be no end of work for a good armourer.
But what if I lose?
Nonsense. How could you? Vitus's armour is light as an eggshell and hard as a rock.
How about if the armour for the bailiff mysteriously went missing?
Jesus Christ. Don't even talk about it. Although, if Otto doesn't agree to the duel, it might be the only option.
Exactly. And if you want to wreck Otter's reputation, not keeping his promise to the bailiff could be even worse for him than your idea.
You're right. Do whatever you think fit then. But if the armour gets lost, don't come to me afterwards. I know nothing about it, right?
Of course.
About that copper.
I told you everything I've got to say. I made you an offer. Now it's up to you.
I'll be on my way, but I'll be back.
I can't wait. Good luck then.
Good luck then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, I'm glad you stopped by.
Master Armourer, I have a message for you from blacksmith Zack.
If it's another one of his so-called generous offers, you can go straight back and tell him I'm not selling, and that's that.
No, this is another matter. Vitus wants to challenge you to a duel.
What? Me fight with that brat? Zack must have lost his mind entirely.
Surely you're not afraid of him, Master Otter?
Pah! Me? Afraid of him? Nonsense. But a respectable craftsman like me can't be seen battering a barely trained runt.
It will be a duel with bludgeons. No bloodshed. At most, a few bruises and some dents in the armour. Zack chose me to wear Vitus armour.
And so I'm to choose a champion of my own. That sounds reasonable.
Good. So let's agree on the time and place.
Hold your horses, young fella. I've got a counter offer for you. Now, I'm sure Zack is paying you well.
Maybe I'm just doing it out of love for my neighbour.
Aye, a regular good Samaritan, no doubt. I could pay you more, and I'd tailor-make a cuirass just for you. What do you say?
You mean if I fight as you're a champion instead? I'm not sure how Zack would take it.
No, you fight on Zack's side and lose.
Nah, forget it. I won't sully my name with cheating.
Suit yourself. But my champion will batter you into the ground anyway, so you've nothing to gain.
So, choose the time and place.
What, me?
You're the one being challenged, so it's your right.
Well, it's all the same to me. Go and sort it out with the bailiff. He should know about it anyway, so I don't look like a troublemaker.
All right?
May the Lord watch over you.
God save.
I'm here on behalf of blacksmith Zack.
Zack? What does that madman want now? Don't tell me. It's another complaint about the Master Armourer. Well, you can tell Zack if you waste another minute of my time with that pathetic feud of his. I'll have him up for disrespecting the office of the bailiff.
No, it's not a complaint this time. In fact, Zack came up with an idea to settle the dispute once and for all.
Is that so? Well, that's a different kettle of fish. That's just what I was after. You have my full attention, friend. What's his plan?
A duel.
Jesus Christ! Has he lost his wits entirely?
Now, don't worry, Goodman Bailiff. No one will get killed. It will only be a duel with bludgeons. Zack chose me as his champion. I'll be wearing a suit of armour made by his son, Vitus, and I'll fight Otter's champion. Whoever falls first, loses.
That sounds like a fine spectacle for the village green. Naturally, I'll have to be present to ensure nothing untoward happens.
Your presence is certainly expected, Bailiff. We'd like you to referee the whole duel.
Very well. We'll have it on the marketplace in the front of the church. But when?
That's up to you.
It's pouring down outside. Such entertainments are best kept for more clement weather.
All right, bailiff. I'll come another time. I've come about the duel.
It's pouring down outside. Such entertainments are best kept for more clement weather.
All right, bailiff. I'll come another time.
Farewell.
Huh?
I've come about the duel.
It's pouring down outside. Such entertainments are best kept.
All right, bailiff.
Goodbye.
God save you, Henry.
May the Lord not leave you.
I've come about the duel.
It's pouring down outside. Such entertainments are best kept for more clement weather.
All right, bailiff.
Goodbye. I'm honored that you...
I'll come about the...
It's pouring down outside.
All right, bailiff.
God be with you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
God save you.
Have you got...
I suppose I could. For how long?
Just...
Sure. You'll like it here.
God be with you.
God be with you, Hen.
God's blessings.
I've come about the...
We can announce it right now.
Let's do it.
I'll have it announced around town. You come along at just the right time. It'll be a fine show for the townsfolk, and I'll finally get that pair and their constant squabbling off my back. Take care. Good citizens of Sasau, our township has long been plagued by a protracted dispute. As you are no doubt aware, Zach, the blacksmith of the monastery courtyard, and Master Armourer Otto Rabstein have been, for some time, at odds. and insomuch as it behoves my office as bailiff to settle such disputes and maintain peace and order, I have decided to resolve the blacksmith's quarrel by unconventional means, whilst affording an entertaining spectacle. In short, we shall let them knock each other's teeth out. However, since it ill befits two respectable tradesmen to maul each other on the market square like a pair of cocks on a dung heap, each of them has elected a champion. Zack, the blacksmith, has appointed to fight in his stead Henry of Scarlet. And Master Otto Rabstein's champion will be... Please, introduce yourself, Sir Knight.
Master Otter will fight for Master Otter. I don't need some young pup to take my place.
I remind you that this will be a duel with bludgeons alone, and until first blood is shed. Come, folks, be sensible for heaven's sake. We don't want any maiming here, or, God forbid, murder. So, if both contestants are ready, let us begin. Ow! Yeah! Well, yeah! Ow! Ow! Bring it on!
You kicked that old bastard's arse, Henry. His ears will be ringing for a month. Now everyone will see who knows how to make armor and who's all hot air.
It was as easy as falling off a log. Any other business disputes you'd like me to sort out for you?
I might have, lad, but not any you can solve with a bludgeon. Anyway, come by the forge later for your reward.
All right?
I hope I can be of help to you.
About that copper.
I told you everything I've got to say.
I'll be on my way, but I'll be back.
I can't wait.
God be with you.
Yeah. About that copper.
I told you everything I've got to say.
I'll be on my way.
I can't wait.
God be with you.
How are you, Henry?
come for my reward?
Of course. And thanks again, lad. It's worked wonders for my trade.
And will Otter sell you his business?
I don't know, but the way things are looking now, his trade will soon be dead as a doornail anyway.
I'm glad your trade is going well. Now, about our little deal.
Ah, that little matter. Right.
So, out with it. How was it all arranged?
One evening I got a visit from this scruffy beggar calling himself Rapota. He had a yellow cape on and kept whistling to himself. There was a knight with him too, but he didn't give his name. They told me what I had to do, how much I'd get for it, and I had to keep my mouth shut.
And where can I find this Rapota? Or the knight?
I don't know exactly. But I've always left the wagon with the goods behind the monastery, on the hill there, next to a small chapel under a big tree.
Anything else?
No. I swear that's all I know.
Well, that'll do me for now.
Good luck then.